When it comes to partnerships, friendships, or even relationships, there is one key principle to keep in mind, and that is to choose people who choose you. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about why that is so important to incorporate in all aspects of your life and how to do so in your daily life. So here we go. Hi, and welcome back to the Ripple Effect of You podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Williams. To all of you who recently subscribed to my channel, thank you so much for all of your support and for tuning in. I'm so excited to have you here. And for all of you who are just visiting, welcome. We're so excited to have you too. On this show, we talk about things related to spirituality, entrepreneurship, and leveling up. So if you're interested in any of those topics, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can get notified weekly of the content that I put on this channel. All right, so back to today's episode. I want to talk to you all about why it's so important to choose people who choose you. So here's the deal. In our world today, I really believe that we attract what we are. And when we're in a state of being where we really accept and are the fullness of who we are, we're more likely than to attract people who also mirror the same to us. And so why it's so important to be in relationships where there is a mutual give and take, which on this show, we're all about mutual give and takes because I don't accept anything otherwise. So back to my topic. I think it's very important to understand that when you're around certain people, it's important that they're all in the same energy as what you're aiming to be in. When you're around people who are vibrating or who have vibrating at a low level or who have lower expectations or things around that nature, it's going to also push you and inherently in that same direction. When you're choosing people who choose you, you're all on that same frequency, that same level. When you're around people who are on a level of desperation or needing to be validated, and I'm burping, that's confirmation, this confirmation burp. It's only showcasing to you that you're actually not aligned with them because you're also, in some cases, showing yourself that you're not who you need to be, or that you feel like you're not who you need to be, I should say, when you're around them. You kind of like are dimming your light. The reason why I believe it is so important to have people who choose you is because there is this mutual give and take. And that's number one I want to talk about. Number one is when you have relationships that are in where people are choosing you, there is an exchange, an equal give and take exchange. And when there's an equal give and take exchange, it's easy for the people then to want to be supportive of you in the same way that you're supportive of them. If that's not happening, then I suggest that you walk away from those types of situations because in some cases, you're only going to be giving more or the other person going to be more. It's just not going to be on the same level. And then at the end of the day, some person is probably going to get irritated or mad about the situation. Number two, it really helps you with your self-worth. And self-worth is so important as we go into the world and we, go after our dreams, we become who we are. But when we're around people where we feel as though we have to prove ourselves or that we need some sort of validation, etc., then it's only, unfortunately, actually decreasing our self-worth. And also it's decreasing our vibration as well. And so as a result, we'll then end up attracting more situations into our lives that are actually just mirroring to us that we feel that we're not good enough, that we're not worthy, et cetera, et cetera. So that's why it's so important, again, to be around people who are actually choosing you. Number three, in terms of the emotional state, your emotional body really is the essence, part of the essence of that makes you up of who you are. And on the day-to-day and minute by minute, you want to be in a state where you're very accepting of yourself and you are very in a state of being where you know of what you deserve and who you ultimately want to become. And when you're around people who are mimicking to you that this is not possible for you or who do you think you are, again, that's only dimming your vibration and dimming your light, causing you to not show up in the way that you actually should be showing up in order for you to live out your life purpose. At the end of the day, we only have so much time here on this planet, as I say, and as I've said in previous times. And why waste time trying to prove to people who are not wanting to understand you or to validate you or to make you feel as if they're seeing your worth, for you to have to keep pushing your worth, your agenda, your being onto them where they don't even want to accept that. I mean, there are so many people in this world. Just find other people who will. Find other people who want to celebrate you, not just tolerate you, but actually celebrate you. And that's why I feel it's so important to keep allowing yourself to be around people who choose you. It's just only going to help you to really start choosing yourself. And when you can start choosing yourself, you're going to show up in the world differently. You're going to vibe differently. And you're going to allow people into your life that are really going to help uplift you to becoming the ultimate version of yourself. Because honestly, just on a personal level, I have been in situations where I found myself around people or situations that weren't always choosing me, And I think at certain times it's because I wasn't actually even choosing myself, because I realized too, sometimes in our world, and not sometimes, actually all the time, our world will mimic to us exactly who we are and what we feel about ourselves. And in some cases, when that was happening to me, I had to realize, well, am I choosing myself? Am I seeing my own value, what I bring to the table? And once I really started getting into that mode and really raising my frequency and really doing a lot of work on myself and personal development, I started not aligning with those people who I did in the past, because I realized they were not serving or going to really help me towards the future that I wanted to create for myself. And it's no shade to any of those individuals, and no um, I have no ill will feelings for them, because I appreciate them on the journey that I was in, because at that moment of my life, those were great people for me to have around to get to my next state and for me to become more aware of who I wanted to be. But at the end of the day, I also had to realize I had to make a choice for myself, that I was going to choose myself and choose to be around people who also were going to choose me too. I wanted this episode to be something where it could really relate, and hopefully relate to you in the sense of understanding what is happening around you. What are the relationships that you find yourself in around you? Do you find that they are mutually beneficial? Do you find that you are gaining something from them and that you're also contributing to them at the same time? Do you feel like it's truly allowing you to become the person that you want to be? Because if they're not, then I highly suggest that you change the people that you have around you, because they literally are a mirror for you. And they're also basically indicating you of who you're going to soon become in the future. Because I really believe we are the 5 people that we hang around the most. And sometimes that means for a little while we might be a little bit lonely on our path, because we have to change our groups of people that we're around. But if it allows us to be able to get towards people who are really aligned with the person that we want to become in the future, I definitely think is well worth it. I hope that you took something from this podcast episode and that was helpful for you, and that you really feel motivated to really choose yourself. And if you have been choosing yourself, to keep choosing yourself, because at the end of the day, you're allowing yourself to fully live out the purpose that you came here to come into, and to really go forward in your purpose in the way that God intended for you to do. Thank you so much again for tuning in on this episode of the Ripple Effect of You podcast. I hope this was helpful for you and beneficial and inspiring. And I look forward to seeing you again on the next episode. So take care.